So the question is raised, why does the second chapter of Shemot, which introduces the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu, but with the words which you don't find anywhere else in the Tanakh, where it describes that Vayikach ish mibeis Levi, Vayikach es bas Levi, a man without a name, but he was from the tribe of Levi, and he took as his wife the daughter of Levi. This was the time of the decrees that every male child that's born has to be thrown in the Nile. So I brought you the deep comment of the Maharal that this is the secret of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was not part of an individual, he was part of the Reshut HaRabim, of the public. He was there as a representative of the nation of Israel. Because there were no longer individuals, parents, there were shlichei tzibur. The sages also say that this person was also the head of the Sanhedrin, as it were, of the burgeoning people of Israel. So Moshe's personal life was never primary. His own wife and children took a back seat to his primary role as Rabbeinu, as the teacher of all of Israel. And this was the essence of being a Levi. That when one brings God into one's home and private domain, one may soon find oneself in God's home, in His domain. So from these parents, the greatest leaders of Israel emerged. Kohanim from the line of Aaron, Leviim from Moshe, and kings of the Malchut Beit David came from Miriam, whose husband came from the tribe of Yehuda. So the Maharal adds to this. I'll paraphrase his words more directly. Vayelech even would have said that Vayelech Amram, and he took Yocheved, that would have been a question of two individuals from whom Moshe Rabbeinu was born, like everyone else. But because Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who was prepared for the redemption from the beginning of creation, then if it wouldn't have come through Levi Yocheved, it would have come someone else. That's why it says Vayelech ish. Because it wouldn't really, from the point of view of divine destiny, made any difference. Because Moshe was sent by Hashem. That's the concept that's developed here. But I think we should go deeper in this as follows. That we can say this section teaches us the principle that Hashem from above, since the time of Avraham Avinu, He give direction. Of course, in search of human partners. But the divine providence acts sometimes in a very hidden form. From outside, it seems it's just natural developments. But they have a purpose. And even the suffering, which is described before, which was brought upon the people of Israel, culminated in a decree that all the male children should be thrown in the Nile. This was part, as we explained already, of the whole situation that many amongst the people of Israel were assimilating to the ways of the Egyptians, neglecting Brit Milah and going to the places of entertainment, even cruel entertainments, and living like Egyptians. So when they became a large multitude, they were given great blessing of increase from the original 70 members of the clan to reach even hundreds and thousands in Egypt, and they didn't stay in Goshen. So Hashem, as was to some extent already apparent from the original vision given to Avraham Avinu, that the people would ultimately become the people of Hashem, but they'd have to go through a period of alienation in order to have sympathy for the alien. The way it will come about, it's not even described. He says also possible in that vision, it says, that they'll also be persecuted. They'll be tortured. The all depends on the people. That means here we already have one of the first irrational aspects of anti-Semitism. Because just like we explained Sefer Bereshit, Ma'aseh Avot Siman Panim, to understand Sefer Bereshit is a sign for future generations. So Sefer Shemot, which speaks about anti-Semitism, the way in which hostility and jealousy arose against the original clan of Am Yisrael, says as long as the original 12 descendants of Yaakov Avinu were still alive, they didn't assimilate. They stayed in Goshen and they felt themselves separate. Also, there was more respect from the Egyptians at that time, because the Egyptians knew what enormous benefits came to Egypt as a result of Yosef and then as a result of Yaakov Avinu. And they respected all the tribes. But when they died, then Poru Bayishurtzu, there was an enormous increase, and the population of the Hebrews spread to the rest of Egypt. So then resistance came through Paro and his advisors. In fact, the first mention in the Bible of the people of Israel as a people was done by Pharaoh. Pharaoh, look, this people, the Bnei Israel, they're not just the sons of Israel, they're a people, and they are both more in numbers, they outnumber us almost, which is an exaggeration, but still, that's what they felt. They're taking over positions, some of them, which some of the Egyptians wanted. They're aliens. Even though they want to assimilate and be like us, they're not like us. Let's deal with them in Chokhmah. So they took the various steps of anti-Semitism. And this is the prototype for anti-Semitism until today. It's irrational, but That's how Hashem deals with the people. What's Am Yisrael? Am B'nai Yisrael, we've got to feel ourselves as one nation. All the B'nai Yisrael. And if we don't, Hashem brings the non-Jewish environment to teach us. That's happened until today. Jews are assimilating very fast. The tide of intermarriage throughout the world and assimilation to the ways of the Gentiles is increasing non-stop. What is stopping many of them? Anti-Semitism. Then they have to recognize that we're separate people. I remember when I was like a chaplain for the students, in fact sometimes some of my talks were not just to Jewish students, also to the student societies as a whole, the university. So there was a debate. What defines a Jew? And the question was, does anti-Semitism, is that responsible for the definition of a Jew? Or is it the positive aspects? The majority voted in favor. They said, if you look at the Jewish people as a whole, it's anti-Semitism that creates the Jew as a separate identity. Because the Jews themselves try to wipe away the signs of identification. Even Chazal say the only thing that really saved the Jews, to some extent, got them back to their identity, they didn't give up their names. Eile Shemot B'nai Israel. They said we're still Jews. A Jew is a Jew is a Jew. And it's true. Let's say in Russian Jewry, I mean, I myself met. I was Russia under the communists, and there were many around us who behaved like non-Jews and didn't want anyone else to know that they're Jewish. And but they still, many of them, when you spoke to them more personally, said, well, don't tell anyone, but really, my name is so-and-so, and I come from a Jewish background. So they bring in the Jews, Am B'nai Yisrael. So that's one important principle here. Which happened to a bit. And there are many books today that have been produced concerning how everything mentioned concerning the anti-Semitism of Paro was repeated up to including the Holocaust. Andrew Neher is a very prominent Jewish recent philosopher, French philosopher. He wrote a book where he made parallels at each stage of the German anti-Semitism, the Nazi anti-Semitism and their methods, and how it all has its seeds in what Pharaoh did, the Egyptian did to the Jewish people. Did Rabbi Cohen, please come in. Okay? Yes? Ask him to come in, please. You see? He came?
He's around. He's around.
He should come in. Maybe Rav Zitzman will learn also. He should come in now. So I'll continue with something else here. There are many commentators who say the Torah emphasizes that Moshe was born like an ordinary person, and is not explicit in the open text anything particular about him until he had his first revelation from Hashem, from God, at the burning bush. But that's like the death of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was also buried like someone else. And the Torah emphasizes, don't think that Moshe was dropped from heaven, like many other religions describe the originator of their religion. So Torah emphasizes he was He was born from simple human beings, although he was one of the biggest scholars of the time, and saints of the time. If it's possible, somebody should bring him here straight away. Ask him to come in.
Yeah, that's right. He went to the toilet.
Pardon?
He's in the bathroom.
Oh, I see. Okay. So,
Wasn't Moshe Rabbeinu born tzaddik?
well, we have in our shiur, it hasn't come now, but I think I'll mention it because it's connected also with your question. Was Yosef a tzaddik? Moshe is not called a tzaddik. It doesn't use that word tzaddik directly on Moshe Rabbeinu, except there is the following remarkable statement of the Rambam when he speaks about free will. I mean, we're going according to the concept that there was divine providence in bringing Moshe Rabbeinu, although the divine providence was hidden. So one might think, well, it's similar to what it says, Leiv Malachim B'Yad Hashem, that the heart of kings or leaders is in the hands of Hashem, and He brings them to their situation of leadership. So the classical example is Paro. Paro reached such a level that even freedom was taken away from him. But it was also a procedure. It wasn't taken away in a simple manner. He still was given constantly possibilities of freedom, but then Hashem hardened his heart. If you look carefully, in the first place, it doesn't say Hashem hardened his heart, only later on. So it was a procedure. The same applied also to Moshe Rabbeinu, if we look at it simply. And we're going to go back to Yosef HaTzadik. There was one of the best questioners and useful questioners despite his age, who asked this question a few times. He doesn't know why Yosef is considered a saint. So to some extent, I'd explained it enough. Ask him to come in, please. Oh, this is Rabbi Cohen, Rabbi Yitzchak Cohen, who has been a great teacher in Yeshiva University, in the department, the Yeshiva department, the Kollel department. And he's going to honor us by saying a few words, and then answering any questions. Thank you very much. I'll just tell you that one of the members of that Kollel, he is actually a son of one of our first students. One of our first students in the yeshiva, he came here and he was Adayin Lo Dati almost. He was a professional. He became one of our strong students, and then he married, had children, and great supporter of the yeshiva. Cyrus Abe, please take a seat. And his son went to Yeshiva University, and I hear he just made a siyum on the whole Shas. Yeah? So, you know, the learning of Gemara in Yeshiva University was on a high standard. You know, had top teachers all the years, and one of the teachers is Rabbi Cohen. So we're very pleased to welcome you all together. It's good to make more association, because I found one of the first visiting teachers we had in the yeshiva was Rabbi Bezdin. And he had in the Yeshiva University a group for beginners. And he came here and he gave classes in the yeshiva also, mainly on Chumash and so on. Mainly what he heard from Rabbi Yosef Soloveitchik, who was a great genius. So, I'm very pleased you could spare some time here, and maybe we can make a link up with there's still a beginner's program there also. And of course it's very useful if anybody wants at the same time to have a high-level academic program combined with a very high level of Torah learning, it's a good place. So please, if you'd like to take a seat, and maybe it's be easier, can this be used as a microphone? Yes?